I think it would be a very bad thing to have this sort of success with your first book. I'm sure I would have loved it, but I think it would have been a disaster for me, because you would expect that this is how it is, and this is not how it is. I've been in this business long enough to know that I am having a really lucky time right now. It's, you know, I appreciate every day that it lasts, and I don't take anything for granted. I'm just happy. I think in Germany it is off the scale. You know, in America it's a bit like that, but in Germany it's just off the scale. In England, no one cares. Well, they do. I mean, I sell a lot of books, but no one knows who I am in the street. I could walk into a hotel, no one would care. So, you know, I come here, I have to put makeup on, because, yeah, it's really strange. It's lovely, though, don't get me wrong. It's amazing, yeah. I cannot read anything when I'm starting a book, because if the voice is too good or too strong, I carry it over into my own writing. And if you read something that's just so breathtakingly good, you just think, why am I bothering? Why am I trying? This is so good. I can never be like this. So I have read very little until literally the last couple of weeks. And coming on tour to Germany is actually a treat for me, because we've been travelling mostly by train or by plane. I get to read. I've read 2 books in 3 days. My family is very diverse. So on one side we have very wealthy people, on the other side we have very, very poor people. And as a result, from childhood I was exposed to many different kinds of people. The lower social strata, if you like, is underrepresented in literature unless it's criminal, or unless it's, you know, someone causing some great problem or being the victim of a horrible thing. It interests me to have these 2 groups of people rubbing up against each other, because that happens less and less in society. I mean, when I grew up, I was surrounded by all these different types of people, even on my street. Now the street that I grew up in is all lawyers and accountants, and, you know, nobody else can afford to live there anymore. So you think, well, where is the crossover? Where is the community? And it worries me, because I think it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the wealthy people. It's not good for the not so wealthy people. I would say it's probably the biggest struggle I have in my writing career, is how to balance writing and family, because even when you're home with your family, sometimes your brain isn't there. And I can see my daughter looking at me going, you know, Mum, be present, you know, be here. Because actually I'm, I don't know, in Puerto Rico or Paris, or, oh yeah, I'm here. And they know me, they know when I'm not there, yeah. I've been lucky enough never to have actual writer's block, but I have had many books that have been really, really hard to write. Mostly, I just keep turning up every day. That was I don't know who it was said that. It was some great writer who just said, you just have to keep turning up. And some days you sit there in front of your screen and you're like, oh, and you know, you look for excuses to do anything else, and you go on Facebook and you go on Twitter, and then you hate yourself, and then you put your internet block on, and then you stare at a blank screen. But a friend of mine gave me some good advice once, which is, she said, if you get really stuck, skip to a scene that you really want to do. Skip to a scene that you're looking forward to. And actually, if I get really stuck, I do that, because it's good advice, and it often means that the scene you got stuck on turns out not to be quite as necessary as you thought. Usually my husband, yeah. He's been my ear for many books now, but I think he's very patient, because sometimes I'll tell him when I've hit a problem, or I'll explain something to him, and he'll explain what he thinks back, and then I'll say, oh, no, you don't understand, you've got that all wrong. And I think it must be impossible for him, but he does understand my books, and he understands how I work. And sometimes it's as simple as me saying, oh, you know, this book isn't working, and I don't know what to do, and I think I'm going to throw it away. And he just says, it's February. You're always like this in February, because you're only at 20,000 words. You just have to stick with it. And he knows me so well now. He knows the cycles of writing, and he knows how my books go, yeah. I ride horses, yeah. I have an old racehorse, and we live in a farm in the middle of nowhere, and so I like to go out and just get lost in the woods. You know, I'm not the greatest rider. My husband calls it hacking and yakking, because I just go out with friends and we chat, and yeah, it's not the greatest exercise, but I love it. Or I just sit and watch them in the field. I just like to watch the horses. They're just my pleasure.